Okay, so here's the thing. Maturing is realizing that motivation won't build the life you want, habits will. And it turns out the ones that are going to have the most impact on your life are the tiny, boring habits that you repeat every day, which, kind of makes it pretty easy to stay in this loop of preparing it to start. You know what I'm talking about. It's like researching the most optimal workouts and having the best workout outfit before you've even lifted a dumbbell, or saving all the 47 healthy recipes that you swear you're going to make this week, only to just order takeout immediately after. And you want to know how I know? Well, for the last month or so, I have been feeling the exact same way. So I'm going to be taking the next 24 hours to just reset my life, and I'm going to be using habits backed by neuroscience to do it. So let's start with the first thing. We're eliminating distractions. Because I really want to start this reset sprint with the newest habit that I'm working on building, and that is having at least one no scroll day a week. So I guess that's today. And I've been really trying to build this weekly no scroll routine because most of us have pretty much zero tolerance when it comes to boredom. But if you can develop the skill of tolerating being bored, then you're going to get yourself ahead of 99% of people. And this is because being bored and denying yourself a distraction is hard to do. But the fact that it is slightly difficult and even a slight stressor on the body actually means it's going to make you more resilient in the long run. It's going to force you to sit in your emotions. It's going to force you to focus when you really don't want to. And it helps free up your mind to do things like problem solving and thinking creatively. So for me, today is really all about kind of denying myself those simple dopamine hits that I know I really want, but are not really going to let me get ahead and rebuild my habits. And I know for a fact that when I'm on my phone less, suddenly I have all this time to do the things that I said I really never had time to do before. Because I was wasting my time scrolling. So we are bricked out of all forms of social media today. And if you don't happen to have one, don't worry about it. Just put your phone on Do Not Disturb, put it in another room, or if you really need it, delete your apps for the day. But now that that's done, we're going to do step 2 of the reset, and that is getting the hardest task of the day done first, also known as eating the frog. So let's go to the gym. And starting your reset this way is going to be perfect because most of us tend to overestimate what we can cram into one day and underestimate what we can do in a year. It becomes very easy to become overly optimistic about what you can get done, but then reality sets in and you just start getting pulled in all sorts of different directions. And then it just feels like you've made no progress. So if there's a goal, a task, or a habit that you've wanted to stay consistent with, but just continuously keep putting off, then try eating the frog and do that thing first. Eating the frog has been a game-changing mindset for me, but I have been putting things off lately because I don't know, I don't really want to deal with them, and it's actually making me feel really bad about myself. And avoiding doing that hard thing first actually makes me pretty overwhelmed and scattered throughout the rest of the day. Honestly, it is such an exhausting mental cycle to be in, where the actual easier thing to do is just do the thing. But if it's not the gym for you, then what else have you been putting off lately? If there's something that you've really been avoiding, try doing that first today. And if you eat the frog every day, then you're really going to start seeing progress. We ate the frog. Hardest thing of the day is out of the way. And now we got to eat. My diet is my main thing that I really want to get back on track today because I don't know. I don't feel good. And I'm ready for some fresh homemade food. And now let's move on to step 3 of the reset, which is tidying. This doesn't have to be a major power clean, but if your home is a mess, then your head will be too. Research actually shows that clutter negatively impacts our mood, our focus, and even our mental health. So the cluttered space, cluttered mind cliche that you've heard a million times by now actually kind of tracks. And even if cleaning up the mess feels temporary, what you're doing is building a habit where you're creating an environment that supports you. So if your life is feeling like a mess, then one of the first places you need to be focusing on is the actual mess around you. So let's take care of this. One thing about going to the gym more consistently is that you're constantly going to be doing laundry. But the thing about the reset too is I feel like I really needed this. I feel like I've been neglecting a lot of just kind of life maintenance things that I know make me feel my best. And I just find myself pushing things off a lot or just being oh, I'll do it later. I'll get to it later, blah, blah, blah. And it's making me feel really anxious. And I just feel like this is kind of a nice way to kickstart reconnecting with all of that. I know that, you can do a reset like this pretty much every single weekend. It's just kind of life maintenance, but I feel like it's nice to do it once in a while with a little bit more intention and just to make it feel a bit more deliberate. Okay, but listen, if you have been living your life on potato mode lately, then girl, you gotta just get dressed. And I gotta say, as much as I am a creature of habit and an outfit repeater, I have been a bit bored lately. I've just been kind of like in gym clothes all the time, and it doesn't feel very inspiring. And before you tell me like, oh, that's so frivolous, that's so shallow, like who cares about what you wear? Well, you know what? I hate to break it to you, but it actually does matter. In fact, there's a ton of psychology around getting dressed that directly relates to how you act, think, and even how you feel. It's called enclosed cognition, which basically describes the influence that clothes have on the wearer. Which is so interesting to me because it shows that clothing doesn't necessarily just change how others perceive us, but it changes the way we perceive ourselves. And I don't know about you, but I totally feel it. Like if I'm wearing leggings or sweatpants all day long, yes, it's comfortable and it can even be cute, but I don't always feel my best. But every time I deliberately take the time to put together an outfit, even if I'm not going anywhere, I always immediately feel more energized, more put together, more confident, and quite frankly, I'm more willing to be an active participant in my own life instead of just letting it pass me by. Plus, I'm actually just getting my money's worth out of my clothes, so let's put together a fit. That's the one thing that always bugs me when I don't wear my clothes is like, okay, I'm wasting money. And I told myself I'd be wearing these things like over and over and over again. So yeah, girl. And it's fun. I feel cute. Okay, let me show you the fit. One sec. Okay, here's the fit. Very simple, very me, but I immediately feel more put together. I've just got the most basic little tank top on, this really cute crop jacket from Aritzia, perfect for spring. These are my Levi's dad jeans. I love them. I just think they are so chill and cool. Just got some pointed toe boots on. And we have to talk about this bag. This is new to me, but it is from Songmont. It's their medium lattice bag. And I just want to take a second to thank them for sponsoring this part of the video. Some of my most worn and most complimented bags have been from Songmont. They are truly one of my favorite brands if you're looking for bags that are stylish and high quality, but also unique. Like their designs aren't really like everybody else out there, and they are so practical. They don't just look cute, they're actually functional. This lattice bag is gorgeous, and it is so special because it's actually made of a single piece of leather, so it's completely seamless. No glue or seams that will fall apart on you. The lattice pattern is actually inspired by the Kazil Caves in Western China using a traditional weaving technique called Langbian. The leather's full grain, naturally tanned, and this bag is ultra soft with a really chic slouch, but it still stays structured. And you know what? This is gonna be my go-to gym bag for a while. It fits everything I need, like my straps, my water bottle, my shoes. Everything stays nice and organized in there, and it doesn't feel too heavy. Plus, sometimes I just really want to carry something that just feels a bit more elevated than a sporty gym bag. And I am absolutely in love with this sculptural charm detail on the side. Oh yeah, it stays on your shoulder, no slipping off. But if you do want to go a bit more hands-free, it also has hooks to wear it crossbody too. Plus, it fits everything. It'll easily fit up to a 16-inch laptop for work alongside all your other daily essentials. So if you're in the market for a bag that has luxury details and quality and also just doesn't look like every other bag out there, then definitely check out Songmont. I'll leave everything linked in the description below. Thanks, Songmont. Okay, now that we're feeling cute, let's go do the next part of the reset, which is meal prep. So I need to go get some groceries because all we have in here right now is a bunch of Greek yogurt, some dates and leftover rice, and a bunch of kiwis, and these blueberries that are on their last leg. Let's go. Oh my God, it's so hot out. It went from winter to summer, like in a day. Whew. Let's do a mini haul. So the fridge for me is definitely part of the reset and designing my environment up for success. Because if I'm not prepared and I don't have healthy options at home, well then guess what? When I'm feeling a little nosh, it's gonna be takeout. So I just got some Japanese sweet potatoes, some regular sweet potatoes. All I do is cut these in half and roast them at like 375 for an hour. They get really nice and caramelized, really soft, and you can eat them for a few days. They're just such an easy grab and go complex carb, and they are so good, so easy. I got some asparagus for dinner tonight, some bananas for pre-workout, a bunch of berries for yogurt bowls, and some Gorge sourdough bread. But I know when I cook from home, I feel better, I perform better at my workouts, and quite frankly, I feel like I look better. My body composition starts to improve, I have more energy, and you know what? Most importantly with this, I don't have to think. Because ultimately what meal prep really does is reduce decision fatigue. In a single day, your brain will make up to 35,000 decisions. So as the day goes on, this wears out your brain and then it naturally starts looking for the easiest possible option to save energy. Which is why if you're starving and there's nothing ready to eat, suddenly takeout sounds amazing. I got potatoes in the oven. We've got asparagus with some garlic and lemon and olive oil. These we're having tonight, and I'm probably only gonna have half of this. Jeff may have the full, but that's dinner and like another lunch. And then I've got some chicken sausages and these chicken burgers that I'm thawing for tomorrow morning. This reset is really all about using everything up in our fridge and freezer right now because we are moving. So I'm going to also cook up these peas. And then I think I'm just going to make a pot of basmati rice that we can eat for the next couple of days. Just super easy, and then you don't have to cook anything. The key to meal prep, honestly, is just about permutations and combinations. Make a couple of different carbs, a couple of different veggies, a couple of different proteins, and then you just mix and match them for the week until you need to cook again. And I really try not to cook too much food because by the time Friday rolls around, I really am sick of this meal prep. So I like to cook enough for maybe 3 days tops, and then I'll do this again. But I have been slacking on the meal prep for the past maybe 3 weeks, so this feels really good. We're moving in the right direction. But when healthy food is already prepped and waiting for you, then there's going to be way less friction. You don't have to think, you don't have to negotiate with yourself, and especially you don't have to rely on motivation. And at the end of the day, that's just what these tiny habits come down to. It's making the good choice easier. Okay, so this is all the meal prep. It took basically an hour to make. So here we've got these super ultra caramelized roasted sweet potatoes. These are so good and so soft. And then I've got the Japanese sweet potatoes here. This is a leftover steak. Here we've got a bunch of peas to go with rice or potatoes and any meat that I cook later, and then the asparagus. So this will last maybe a couple of lunches and a couple of dinners more, with the exception that I do need to make more protein to go with this, but it definitely makes knowing what to eat a lot easier. Meals are prepped, we got dressed. The other thing I want to do today is time block my day, but for tomorrow. One of the kind of rut style habits I feel like I've gotten into lately is I get up with an idea of what I'm going to do. Like, okay, you know, by 7, I'm going to go to the gym, and then by so-and-so, I'm going to start working and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like a little bit too loose, and I don't like sitting down at my desk not knowing exactly what I'm going to do that day. I also feel like I do really well if I actually compartmentalize my day all the way down to when I check my email and even the time I give myself to scroll social media. And time blocking has actually been shown to help you get into a flow state much easier. It also really helps reduce decision fatigue because you know exactly what you're doing for how long and when. And if anything, it really helps keep your to-do list realistic. I love making to-do lists that are 25 items long, but on any given day, I feel like I can get 1 or 2 big tasks done and maybe like 5 or 6 little ones realistically. I think it can just really help set you up for success because you're not winging your day. But I actually thrive so much more off of structure and constraints. If I know exactly where I need to be and when, if I know exactly when my lunch break is, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do that. Whereas if I don't give myself a proper schedule, I find that's when things just start getting pushed and I procrastinate and I feel like I am way less productive. Plus, if you color code it, it also just looks really satisfying. Basically, any me time is in pink, so anything I need to do to get ready or just have any downtime. Anything in blue is travel time. Anything in light green is a workout or some physical activity. Anything in yellow is work. And anything in dark green are meals. And I feel like that looks like a very satisfying day. And obviously you don't have to plan your day down to the minute. I'm not planning on being that rigid either. There's definitely going to be some leeway here and there. I might go over, I might go under in some places, but I think the key is I have a plan and a roadmap of exactly what my day is going to look like. And I'm really going to try to stick to it as if I was on the clock for somebody else, because I find that's the hardest part. When I'm accountable to just myself, I feel like I let myself down a lot and my boundaries are pretty flimsy. And I feel like knowing my schedule, knowing exactly what I'm going to do and scheduling it out out as if I have to punch in on a clock. To me, I just feel like it really increases the probability of me being a lot more accountable to myself and showing up. So this is a habit I'm really excited to rebuild moving into the next part of the year. I almost forgot about you there for a second, but the final thing that I'm going to be adding to my reset for this next part of the year is to have a proper wind down evening routine. So we're going to do my skincare while we talk about it. For the last few months, I really haven't had any semblance of a healthy evening routine at all. I'm often on my computer working pretty late because I have no boundaries and I wasn't time blocking my day at all. But the other thing is I would be on my phone scrolling as a form of downtime. So once work is done, my form of a treat would be to go and scroll on TikTok and social media. And I would end up doing that right until bedtime. But basically for months, I have not been properly winding down my nervous system and getting ready for proper rest. This is what I'm using as my first cleanse right now. I feel like oil cleansers right now are really bothering my skin. So we're keeping it super gentle. And then for my second cleanse, this is new to me, but my skin has been so pissed off and irritable lately that I just needed something ridiculously gentle and bare bones. So I ended up getting the Vanicream Gentle Facial Cleanser, and I've been really liking this, which we want in skincare and we want in our evening routine. And I would do my red light mask, but it's charging right now, so I'm gonna skip it tonight. Toner. So I've been really just upping my sleep hygiene. We're talking doing things like not eating around 3 hours before bed so that your body can focus on sleeping and rest and recovery instead of digesting. And I also brick my phone starting at 9 p.m. at night because that's the time that I really want to scroll. That's like my wind down time. Short form content and just like anything stimulating, that is the absolute last thing you want if you want good sleep and good rest. And then we're just doing moisturizer and that's it. This is the Avène Tolerance Control. Super gentle. But this is a routine that I actually have to work pretty hard to build because I am so set in my scrolly ways at night and just sort of rushing through my routine so I can go and scroll longer in bed. And it's not cute. Also tip, put your deodorant on at night. So with this, I'm really just focusing on slowing down, not rushing through my routines, and also just focusing on not being distracted through them either. But I think having a good and healthy sleep hygiene routine is only just going to help you in the long run. It calms down your nervous system, it reduces stress, you can recover properly, you'll be able to focus and even be in better moods during the day. And with any reset routine you do, I feel like it really all starts the night before. And we're ready for a wind down. And guess what? We are reading. No scrolling. Yay! We're going in the right direction. It's good. It's good. So at the end of the day, I think resetting your life in an effective way has a lot less to do with becoming a completely different person overnight, and way more about turning back to the things and the habits that make you feel your best and most connected to yourself. And yeah, they are boring, but not only can they completely change your life in the long run, but it's going to really improve the quality of your day-to-day too. So did I change my life in one day? No. But you know what? I feel like I'm taking the steps moving in the right direction. So let me know some habits that you're planning on building that you know will help you feel your best, especially moving into the next half of the year. And another really bad habit that I tried to quit in a day was my phone. And it was harder than I thought. So if you want to see how I did, you can watch this video next. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye.